What if your time machine broke at the most critical moment, stranding you in the weirdest eras of Earth's history? Picture yourself in a volcanic apocalypse with rivers of lava everywhere, a frozen snowball Earth, where even your breath turns to ice, or an ocean glowing with alien creatures straight out of a sci-fi movie. You're a time traveler with the worst luck imaginable, and your machine just gave up on you. What happens next? Let's dive into the science of these bizarre periods, the chaos of survival, and the hilarious mishaps of being lost in time, as I, a stick figure with a knack for trouble, navigate this mess with panic, curiosity, and a sprinkle of dark humor to keep from crying. Before we jump into the chaos, let's set the stage for how you got here. You spent months building your time machine in your garage, piecing together tech scraps and a lot of wishful thinking, inspired by theoretical physics, like the idea of traversable wormholes proposed by Kip Thorne in the 1980s. You rigged up a device powered by exotic matter to bend spacetime. It's a rickety contraption held together with duct tape and a prayer. But it works until it doesn't. You set the dial for a quick trip to the Renaissance to meet Leonardo da Vinci, but a sudden power surge fries the circuits. Now you're bouncing through time like a pinball, landing in the most inhospitable eras imaginable. Each stop brings a new nightmare, and your machine's only function now is to move you spatially. Time travel is off the table. I pictured myself as a stick figure, staring at the smoking device, muttering, "I should have bought the extended warranty." Your journey starts in the Permian period, 260 million years ago, just as the Siberian Traps, a massive volcanic region, unleashed their fiery fury. For 200,000 years, these volcanoes pumped out 4 million cubic kilometers of lava, covering an area the size of Europe, per geological studies. The air's thick with ash, and the temperature soars to 45 degrees Celsius due to a runaway greenhouse effect. CO2 levels are 10 times higher than today. Rivers of lava flow like glowing highways, their molten surfaces bubbling and popping with heat that could melt steel. Toxic gases like sulfur dioxide make every breath feel like inhaling acid, and the ground beneath your feet is so hot it's practically sizzling. You're dodging lava bombs the size of cars, which explode on impact with deafening booms, according to a 2022 volcanology report. The sky is a hellish red, obscured by plumes of smoke and ash that block out the sun, creating an apocalyptic twilight. I pictured myself as a stick figure, sprinting in melting sneakers, my hair singed at the edges, muttering, "This is a barbecue, and I'm the main dish." Survival here is a long shot. The intense heat dehydrates you rapidly. Your body loses water faster than you can blink, and there's no source of hydration in sight. Volcanic ash coats your skin, clogging your pores, and making every movement gritty and painful. The sulfur dioxide in the air irritates your lungs, leading to coughing fits that leave you gasping for breath. If you don't find shelter soon, you'll succumb to heat stroke or asphyxiation within hours. You try to cover behind a boulder, but the rock is so hot it burns your hand on contact. Geological records suggest that the Siberian Traps eruptions released enough greenhouse gases to cause a 5 degrees Celsius global temperature increase, triggering mass extinctions that wiped out 90% of marine species and 70% of terrestrial vertebrates. As you dodge another lava bomb, you can't help but wonder if you're about to join that statistic. I imagine myself as a stick figure, clutching a charred stick as a makeshift weapon, saying, "I'm not lunch, but I'm toast." Your machine jolts, still broken for time travel, but able to move spatially. You warp to the Cryogenian period, 650 million years ago, during Snowball Earth. The planet's a frozen wasteland. Ice blankets everything, even the equator, with global temperatures averaging minus 50 degrees Celsius per paleoclimate data. The air's so cold your breath freezes mid-exhale, turning into tiny ice crystals that fall to the ground with a soft tinkling sound. The ice reflects sunlight, making it blindingly bright, and you're forced to squint to avoid snow blindness. There's no food, just a few microbes clinging to life near volcanic vents, barely visible through the thick ice. The thin atmosphere, with only 10% oxygen compared to today's 21%, makes breathing a struggle, and every inhale feels like you're sucking on a straw that's too narrow. Frostbite sets in within minutes, your fingers and toes turning numb, and then painful as the cold bites into your flesh. You're slipping on ice sheets a kilometer thick, per glaciology studies, while auroras dance in the pale sky, their ghostly green and purple lights casting an eerie glow over the desolate landscape. I imagine myself as a stick figure, shivering in a makeshift parka of leaves I scavenged from who knows where, saying, "I'm a popsicle," and there's no hot chocolate in sight. The cryogenian period is one of Earth's most extreme climate events. Scientists believe the planet was ice-cased for millions of years, with glaciers extending from pole to pole. The low oxygen levels are due to the lack of photosynthetic life. Most plants and algae were buried under ice, unable to produce oxygen. You try to chip away at the ice with your bare hands, hoping to find a volcanic vent for warmth. But the ice is as hard as steel, and your fingers are too numb to grip properly. The auroras above are beautiful, but they're a cruel reminder of how isolated you are. There's no life here to speak of. No animals, no plants, just endless white stretching to the horizon. If you don't find a way to generate heat soon, hypothermia will cause you. You start rubbing your hands together frantically, but the effort is futile in this frigid void. I pictured myself as a stick figure, huddling against an ice wall, muttering, "If I freeze here, at least I'll be preserved for future time travelers to find." Right? Desperate, you hit the machine's buttons again, warping to the Cambrian period, 520 million years ago. You land on a shallow ocean shore, where the water glows an eerie blue-green. Bioluminescent bacteria and plankton light up the sea, per marine biology research, casting an otherworldly shimmer across the waves. The air's humid and heavy, with 18% oxygen, making you dizzy and lightheaded as your body struggles to adjust. Strange creatures swim around. Trilobites with spiky shells scuttle across the ocean floor. Anomalocaris, with claw-like appendages, dart through the water like prehistoric predators, and jellyfish-like beings pulse with light, their bioluminescence creating a mesmerizing but unsettling display. The ocean is warm at 30 degrees Celsius, feeling more like a hot bath than a refreshing dip. But low oxygen levels in deeper layers release hydrogen sulfide, creating a sulfuric stench that burns your eyes and throat with every breath. A storm brews on the horizon, its dark clouds swirling ominously as lightning flashes illuminate the glowing sea. The storm whips up waves that crash onto the shore, leaving glowing foam that sparkles like a neon carpet. I pictured myself as a stick figure, wading through glowing water, my eyes watering from the stench, saying, "This is pretty, until that claw thing eats me." The Cambrian period marks the explosion of life on Earth, with the first complex animals appearing in the fossil record. But this biodiversity comes with dangers. Anomalocaris, one of the earliest apex predators, could grow up to a meter long, its claws capable of easily crushing trilobite shells. You try to avoid the larger creatures, sticking to the shallows, but the warm water offers no relief from the oppressive humidity. The hydrogen sulfide gas, a byproduct of anaerobic bacteria thriving in the oxygen-poor depths, is toxic in high concentrations, and you're already feeling the effects: nausea, dizziness, and a pounding headache. If the storm hits, you'll be caught in a maelstrom of glowing waves and deadly creatures with nowhere to hide. You try to fashion a makeshift raft from driftwood, but the wood is slimy with bioluminescent algae, making it impossible to grip. I imagine myself as a stick figure clinging to a piece of driftwood as an Anomalocaris circles closer, muttering, "I survived lava and ice, but I might not survive this glow-in-the-dark seafood buffet." The science of time travel makes this disaster even worse. Your machine likely used a rotating black hole to warp space-time, requiring 10 to the power of 19 joules of energy, more than the sun's output in a second, per theoretical physics. A breakdown could create quantum fluctuations, trapping you in a temporal glitch where time loops endlessly or skips unpredictably. A 2021 study warns you might cause a paradox, like stepping on a trilobite and erasing half the fossil record, potentially altering the evolutionary timeline so drastically that humans never existed. The implications are mind-boggling. If you change the past, you might erase your existence, creating a causal loop that unravels reality. After 1,000 days, you'd adapt or perish, burned in the Permian, frozen in the Cryogenian, or eaten in the Cambrian. Time travel is a gamble, and a broken machine turns it into a cosmic comedy of errors. I imagine myself as a stick figure, staring at glowing jellyfish as the storm closed in, muttering, "If I survive, I'm never time traveling again. I'll stick to binge-watching history documentaries instead."